All right, Amy, what makes you feel the most vulnerable?
So I've actually gotten a lot more comfortable in my vulnerability. But the thing that really comes to mind when you ask me that is I remember when I had really bad eczema, I felt so vulnerable without makeup on. It was really hard for me to even go outside not wearing makeup. And I felt really vulnerable if anyone ever wanted to take a picture.
It's Beyonce. Literally, Beyonce is...
Call me Seance.
Obsessed. This is very exciting, friends, because Brandon and I have been talking about adding a mic to their areas because they always make very clever comments and we can't hear them from this mic. So I'll like repeat them or whatever, but...
From a fly on the wall to a voice
They're here!
on the pod.
It's like, what do they call that when you're going to go on stage? They call it the voice of God or whatever. Like, now announcing. Should we start every episode where you'll be like, now announcing the Beauty Manifest?
We are now getting into a very special episode of the Beauty Manifest.
You'd be good at ASMR. Anyways, hi. We were just setting everything up, and I feel like for me, every time I set up, it's like feels weirdly new. Our setup is not that robust, but it feels like a lot, okay? But we figured it out. So, where am I at? You know, the last week or so has been kind of heavy. A lot of things have been changing in my life, very big things. And people around me are also experiencing very big changes. So there's just like a lot of emotion. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's uncomfortable. And my energy was just honestly crap for like 7 days straight. Like I was irritable. I did not smile at people on my walks. I pride myself on that, and I just like couldn't even bring myself to do it. I was just like, it was that kind of energy where I was just like, I need to look down in front of me and not make contact, which is normal in LA, but I'm feeling a little bit better. And anytime I get to film the podcast, I feel a lot better. And so I'm very grateful and very excited. I always say I'm excited for this guest, but I really am excited about all my guests. It's actually a dream just to be able to get to sit here and have conversations with people I admire and like get to know them on a deeper level. It is like feeds my soul. So we have Amy Liu on today, who is the founder of Tower28. And I don't know that I'm going to say this to her too, so sorry for the repetition, but I don't know that we've had a brand founder on who like hasn't mentioned Amy Liu. I mean, probably we've had a lot of brand founders, but Amy Liu has been such a pivotal part of a lot of brand founders' journey because she really lends herself. She is a woman's woman. She is a founder's founder. She's always willing to like advise and share, and like if there's not a seat at the table, she makes one. And I feel like that's just kind of her vibe. That's what people always tell me. That's what I always hear. And Amy and I have gotten to work together and see each other at events and things over the years. And it's just always been such a pleasant experience, but I've never really gotten to go too deep with her. I interviewed her for Sephora's Instagram Live a few years back for AAPI month. And I can't remember if we had the conversation there or if it was another place we were filming that we had it, but she was so vulnerable and told us this story about how she was holding an AAPI month virtual event. And this was during the time of like the pandemic where people were hacking virtual events and kind of coming in like just being absolutely terrible people. In this case, it was racist and it was really hurtful and I'm sure traumatizing and probably really difficult for her to share that story. But I bring this up because that's just kind of how she is. Like, she really does lean into her vulnerability and to sharing the hard things that happen, whether it's that or something going on at her business. And I think that's why she's such an incredible asset and friend to so many people in the industry, because she's not scared or shamed to share what she struggled with, which is the most brave and the most powerful and the most change making. And so I'm thrilled to have her here. It somehow feels very full circle. And just learn a little bit more about her beyond just the business. That's what I try and do here. So I will see you at the end, and I hope you enjoy this one. We're live. We just roll into it. We keep it really casual. But that I wanted to say, like, thank you again. I know how busy you are. You have your family, you have your business, you're constantly being asked, and you drove across LA, which is like, if you live in LA, you know, is like a very big commitment. You basically just came and picked me up from LAX, which is like the highest level of friends. So thank you for
anything
being
for
here.
you. I'm happy to be here.
I really appreciate you. But we were sitting around having a conversation. I was like, let's just jump in because you were sharing with me, and I was like, this is great information. Like, what a juicy story. But before we jump back into that, I always like to give my guests the opportunity in their own words just to say a little bit about who they are and their brand, if you want to explain that.
So my name is Amy Liu. I'm the founder and CEO of Tower28. I've been in the beauty industry for 23 years now.
Wow.
So for a long time, I've only had one other job. I worked in consulting, and then it's been beauty all the way. I have also had eczema my entire adult life. And so I think from the time I was like in college and on, and I think when that happens, I don't know, I had a kind of a complicated relationship with beauty in general, because I felt like I was the person, I always worked in marketing. So I was creating, everything related to selling aspiration and product in beauty. And yet I had this like really difficult sensitive skin.
Yeah.
And so I was really looking for products that were clean and safe for sensitive skin, but also high performance. And that's really what led me to start Tower28. So Tower28 I launched, it's been 6.5 years now.
Oh my gosh.
So we launched 6.5 years ago. I raised the money to do it about 7.5 years ago. So it took me about a year before I launched it.
Wow.
And it's kind of been my lifelong dream.
I mean, you've just blown up.
Oh.
I think from an outsider's perspective, it's like, oh my gosh, you blew up. To you, you're probably like, I've been doing this for so long.
It's both. It's both. It's like if you've ever wanted something for a long time and you've worked on it for a long time, and then all of a sudden it happens.
Yes.
So it's like, I felt like I waited a long time and I kind of was heads down for a long time. And then once I kind of chose that path, it happened pretty quickly.
I understand that. I mean, building this podcast, I'm kind of in the middle of that right now, where I'm like, oh, everything feels like, oh, it's been so long. It hasn't been that long. You're just trying to stay present with it.
100%. And I think sometimes it feels like dog years, and then sometimes it feels like it happened all at once.
I mean, post-pandemic, the concept of time has just kind of left my body, if I'm honest. Okay, thank you for that. Let's jump right back into the woo.
Yeah.
As we were talking, and Amy was asking me about like some of the clairvoyant studies I've been doing. And then it's so funny you brought up Flor being someone that you've seen, because she was someone that was my first teacher. I went on her retreat to Portugal right out of the pandemic and like got a crash course on all of this that I had no idea about. And you were just about to tell me about how your experience was with her.
So I was saying earlier, my sister was the one who discovered Fleur because of one of her friends. And then she signed me up on the very long wait list and gave this to me as a birthday gift. But funny enough, was also like, it's really expensive, so you actually have to pay for part of it.
It's such a sister move.
And so that was the first time I did it. And I did that in February of 2020.
Okay.
And I remember so clearly because I taped them, like I voice note them, right? So I can listen to them again later. And I've listened to this one since then a few times. And she said, I had just signed a lease. So we'd already launched. I'd signed a lease for my small team to be in an office. And she said, I have this, you're going to be all over the country. You're going to have employees in different places. And I was like, no, that's not true.
Oh my gosh.
And sure enough, I had people on my team who moved to New York and stayed in New York. I hired another girl who also was supposed to move here, never did, stayed where she was. Like, and she's like, I just see you guys being kind of all over the place. And like, I don't know if she said working from home, but she said something that made me believe. And I remember feeling, and you can hear it in my voice when I hear it back, so defiant about it.
Oh, did you record it?
Yeah, because I recorded
Yes,
it.
love that.
And because I said I had just signed a lease, like I couldn't believe that we weren't going to be like business as usual in an office.
Right.
And it was just crazy because that was obviously right before COVID.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And she did tell me a lot about the success of what has now happened.
Yeah.
And she said things like, I see you in front of like a bunch of people, essentially panels and those types of things.
Did the experience and the information feel helpful?
So I grew up with a dad who went to go see psychics.
Okay, that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
If you had any of this growing up.
So my parents immigrated from Taiwan. My dad was an entrepreneur. He was like a general contractor. He built small scale commercial buildings, like 3-story buildings and condos.
Okay.
And he was always his own boss. And he was the kind of person who would tell me all the time, he's like, oh, it's so hard to be an entrepreneur. Like, don't do it, basically. It's so hard. But also, like, I just saw how much he loved what he did.
Yeah.
And he was at times someone who would like literally pull over and like the, psychic neon sign. And I would sit in the waiting room and he would just go in and do it. Or like there was one guy he would go to that was like in a wheelchair in this random place. And like, he did that one a few times, but I remember being in proximity to it at a young age, even though I didn't engage with it.
It just normalized it a little bit.
It just normalized it. And I think for me, what he always said to me was, I just want someone, when you're an entrepreneur, you just sometimes want someone to tell you everything's going to be okay because you feel so lonely.
Yeah.
And so I think for me, it's never been a weird thing. I think some people get scared of it.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of it. And I didn't really start doing it more actually until I became an entrepreneur. I did it like really infrequently, probably at the beginning of my beauty industry life. But I would say more regularly I now do it. It's hard for me, like when I get a referral, it's hard for me to like not do it.
I know. It's this like internal, just in like forever curiosity.
For me, it's like efficient therapy.
Yeah.
So like I think of it as I have a therapist, a talk therapist as well. I see my therapist. I've seen my same therapist since initially it was with my husband. We went before we got married. And so his name's Noel. He's been in our life for 18 years now.
Wow.
And I probably go to him a couple times a year. So very infrequently. But I also really like the fact that I can go to someone completely different. Like, so he knows my whole story. And I love the idea of going to see whether it's a clairvoyant or whatever, a tarot reader. I like it because sometimes they will say something and I just try to pay attention to how it lands with me. Like, what is my reaction? Do I resonate with what they say? Do I like really not want it to come true? Do I hope it comes true?
Because that in itself is so telling.
That in itself is so telling for me. It really makes me think like, oh, then this must be something that I really wanted to hear. I've asked pretty frequently about like hiring people. Like I'll have a person in my mind's eye and be like, I think I'm going to hire them. Is this the right person? And for me, so much of it is just like a gut check. Like somebody will say, if I was doing that and you said to me, well, I don't know if that's the right person. And if I immediately felt like, no, I want it to be.
Yeah.
Or if I'm like, yeah, I think that's true.
I love that because something else we were talking about off camera before we came on was my kind of speculation or analysis of readers and where it's helpful and where sometimes it's not. And what reader you have and whether or not they're putting their own filter or life experiences on the message that they're sharing with you, which, really they shouldn't be. But I think what you're doing is you're receiving information, but then looking for the answers within yourself.
Yeah.
Which I think
and I
is
think
really
that's why it doesn't
powerful.
scare me.
Yeah.
Right? Like it doesn't I went to a dinner the other night where they had put a tarot card in everybody's chair,
Mm-hmm.
Predetermined. And I sat down and mine was the death card.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's something innately scary
Mhm.
about that when you see the word. But then I think there's so much of it which just means new beginnings, a new
Yes,
chapter.
Totally. Yeah. I just think it's really the self-awareness you have. Because so often I think what happens what happened to me a little bit with going to readers in the beginning was that I started to seek too much external information, too much external validation and guidance. And a little bit can be helpful, especially when you're receiving it the way that you're explaining. But too much, or getting the information and going to someone else and then cross analysis. It causes you to spin a little bit. You start to forget to use your own intuition.
So maybe I don't think I mentioned this earlier. I've always been told that I'm a little intuitive.
Sure.
And I did take Fleur's class as well.
Oh, cool.
I took it virtually.
Yeah.
And frankly, I did it in a time when I was pretty busy. So I was not a very good student. And I did not feel super engaged with it.
Sure.
So I don't know if I really it's my fault, right? You get out of anything what you put into it. But I think because of that, I've always been so curious about all of these things. And I really, for me, the ultimate goal is self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think if anyone can draw that out of you or provoke that, but I tend to feel even when things go wrong and I look back on them, I'm I feel I knew.
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel like
Yes.
that, but
yes.
even whether it doesn't mean I don't make mistakes. I still make the mistakes, but even if I mention the hiring thing, sometimes
Your gut was
it's
telling
you
you.
knew, but you don't want to know. You
Yeah.
like the person, even if you don't think they're the right fit, but it's just
I definitely
in our
know.
hearts. I think that we often know.
Yep. Yeah. And I believe that everyone is intuitive. I think everyone has an intuition. I think society makes it really hard for us to be in touch with it. That slowness and that presence is required in order to be in tune and be able to hear and listen.
It's why people meditate. It's why people.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that I also kind of think that most everyone can tap into some level of clairvoyance.
Yeah.
I don't know that for sure. That's just kind of an ethereal hunch that I have. And a lot of teachers in that space will say that everyone is clairvoyant, just on different levels.
I mean, I haven't studied anything like that, but I kind of believe in sometimes you meet people and they're oh, you're an old soul.
Yeah. How many past lives?
Kind of. I think some people have more of that than others do. Sometimes I'm oh, that's a new soul. I don't know if they.
Absolutely. I swear it goes through my head all the time. I'm you've only been here twice.
Yeah.
For some people, you're have you ever been here?
Yeah. You're
Have
new
you ever
here.
been here
You're
before?
new here. Let's go
Literally
easy
new
on
here.
her.
No, but I love your perspective on it and how you receive the reading, because that's something I haven't really thought too much on. And I think a lot about how I, like I said, kind of the ethics or the best way to use these tools for people.
I mean, I think the other thing is that sometimes though I don't hear things if I don't want to, or I'm not ready to hear them.
Yes.
So in retrospect, I've gone to readings where people have told me things that I'm I'll go, because again, I try to either write notes or I save them in some way. And I'll go back and I'm oh, wait, they told me that. Probably the most dramatic example of this is I went to a tarot card reading at a wedding. And I had just rented this house, or I was about to just rent this house. And the woman was I was oh, is this going to be the right house? And she's no, this is not the right house for you. And she's you should not buy this house. And I was oh, justified it by saying it's because I'm renting it. She just got it mixed up because yes, it's not the right house to buy, but it's the right house for me because I'm renting it. Totally coincidentally, or maybe not, I had taken the so my friend's a little woo-woo, the little what's the thing, the getaway, what is it called at a wedding when they give you something, a present?
Like a gift bag?
No, it was like at the table. There was a sage stick.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like on
Okay.
the plate and everything.
Yes. I don't know what that's called.
Like a memento.
Yeah,
Do you know what
a
I mean? Like a
memento,
party
yes.
favor. Like a
yeah,
party
they
favor.
usually do some little something. Like some people will do like a
like
mini
little
shot
chocolates
with like,
I don't
yes.
know. So hers was a sage stick.
Okay.
So she had a little tarot card reader and she had a sage stick. And so I had taken the sage stick with me. I moved into this house afterwards. And at the end of the first week, I saw this little sage stick. We were about to leave. And the last thing I did was I saged the house.
Okay.
That house burned down.
Oh, wow.
Not related to the sage stick. It had an electrical fire in it.
Wow.
And afterwards, I was like, wait a minute. Did she tell me not to do this?
Wow.
Literally, the woman was like, it was not unclear in any way.
Yeah. It's
She
just
was
how
like,
you wanted to hear it.
But I wasn't ready to hear it.
Yeah.
I had already made it my mind that this
Mhm.
is what I was doing.
Mhm.
And she was like, this is not it. This
Mhm.
is not the house for you. And I was like, oh.
Isn't it hard though? I resonate with this deeply. For some pretty significant things in my life where I was told like, don't do that or they're not it or whatever it might be. It's so hard to trust enough to make the decision based on that when it's such a big thing or such an
Yeah.
important thing. And so often when you're going to ask the questions, they're always big and important things. So it's kind
Yeah.
of hard to like navigate.
But isn't that just like the experience you were meant to have then? Like, if I look back on it, I don't know. I mean, yeah, the fire happened or whatever, but like, I don't know if it's just part of my story. It's not like
What year was that?
God, that was probably 9 years ago.
Pre-pandemic.
Yeah, it was pre-pandemic. And
Oh.
then, I mean, this sounds dramatic, but then we just had our house in the Palisades fire too.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But again, like,
My gosh.
sure,
To
but
go through that multiple
twice. But so the
times.
first time the house burned down, this time our house stood in a neighborhood that did not stand.
Gosh.
And so I
There's
think
a whole other emotional
it's a whole different
experience.
thing. But like either way, I think it's the lesson. And I think that's what these are all lessons, right?
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, I don't know, it's just stuff. Like I don't have as much like attachment
Which is positive.
to the things.
Yeah. Which is positive. I
Yeah.
mean, and I think people like you who are able to have the self-awareness and be present
Yeah.
enough to recognize the lessons and receive them,
Yeah.
it makes the hard things just a little easier.
Well, and you probably know this better than I do, but one of the things I remember Fleur saying, and I think she says this at the beginning of all of her readings, is it's not so much that she can tell the future. It's more that we as humans are making very unconscious decisions every day. So we've already
Yeah.
put ourselves on a path.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's less that she's telling the future and that we don't have free will. We have free will. We can make decisions.
Yes.
It's more that on a daily basis, we're not super conscious and we're just making the same behavioral decisions that have been embedded in us. For
Right.
such
What
a
we
long
think
time.
we're supposed to do.
Like it's just, and so the only reason she can tell you what's going to happen next is because there's momentum to your life already and in
Mhm.
motion. So I don't know. I like that side of it too, because then no matter what someone tells me, it makes me feel like I have agency,
Yes. Yes. That is helpful.
and it's not like this is going
You're
to
out
happen
of control
to you.
of your own life. You have no
Yeah.
choice. It's like at the end of the day, you can be told something, you can still go the other way.
Yeah.
Which I have done.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, like you with your first home you were
Yeah.
renting, like then you realize, oh gosh, they did say that.
Yeah. Oops.
Oops. Oh, how cool that you had a bit of an introduction to it as a kid.
Yeah.
I think that's really special. I went to Catholic school growing up,
Mm.
and I think that there's beautiful religion out there that serves people very well. And so there's no hate on that from me, but my experience was very poor.
Mm.
And I kind of shut out everything spiritual for a very long
Oh, wow.
time. Never really explored anything at all until, like I was telling you, my story of finding out, which I think I've said on the podcast in another episode, I'm sure in the beginning, especially just about finding out that I was going to be reading people. And
Yeah.
so it was like a blast at my face. I was just like, what is this? And like the crash course going to Fleur's retreat. And it's been such a different experience. And I definitely swung really far on the pendulum.
Yeah.
And I've kind of like corrected a little bit
Yeah.
more in the center, and I'm finding balance with it. And And so, yeah, this podcast is like, I feel that I'm kind of having intuitive conversations with people and getting to, like I said, kind of double tap on topics and subjects that come up that like I feel like, oh, maybe they'll go a little further there.
Yeah.
But I think it's so interesting that this came up. I don't know. Maybe one day it'll turn into doing some readings on here or something like that.
I mean, feel free. You can read me.
I'm so out of practice. I haven't done a reading on someone in, I don't know, at least a year and a half or
Oh,
two.
wow.
I did do a reading. I recently had, well, not that recent, maybe a year and a half ago now, I had my ex-boyfriend passed away. And
Oh my God.
he and I were together for like 6 years. We came up together. I lived in his family's home. So we were
Oh my
super
God.
tight. Still
I'm so
checked in
sorry.
with each other every so often. Thank you. It was really a tragic loss. And I did a reading to connect to him, like individually.
Yeah.
And that's the last reading I've done. But it was the first time I had done it on my own to connect to someone who's passed.
Yeah.
And he delivered, I was free writing with it. So I like wrote down whatever was coming through.
Yeah.
And he was like, something that came through was tell my mom that I love her as much as I love marshmallows. And like that in my head, like did not click at all. And I was like, am I really going to reach out to his grieving mother right now and be like, by the way, I did this, this, and this? Because I forgot that she was open to this world.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I did reach out to his sister and kind of like gauged, temperature checked,
Yeah.
she was like, oh girl, we're all in on this. Like absolutely
yeah.
tell her. She was like, it was a lifelong like joke between the three of them how much she loves Peeps. And she was like, earlier that week, she was in like a CVS or whatever, and she was shopping for Peeps, and she picked them up and was thinking about her son. And so it was super resonant. And so like I have moments like that where I'm like, oh, I love this. But then I have moments where
it's an amazing thing
Just
that you can do
digesting.
for someone. I mean, I've never had that experience, but we, my best friend recently lost her earlier this year, lost her father.
Oh.
There was somebody else in my life had someone commit suicide.
yeah.
I just, and I think whenever there is death, it is so powerful to be able to give someone, like my best friend she actually went to go see some medium that also gave her some access to her dad, that she read a book called Signs.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I haven't read it, I don't think. I devoured
And
a lot,
I don't
but-
know. I didn't read it myself, but she was saying how whatever that book was, it kind of has made it so that she
Yes.
can
Okay.
in moments
I did
feel
read it.
him
Yes.
and feel his presence.
Mhm.
And that it is just what a gift to be able to give someone to feel like they are gone but not lost.
Not alone. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that. Wow. I don't know.
That's where I'm like, I take all of this work with a grain of salt. Of course, we don't know what we don't know. But at the end of the day, if it's going to give someone that gift, why not?
Yeah.
And
for
that's
sure.
why I love mediumship and I'll lean in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Are
I
people
feel
getting
like
sick? I don't know.
all my friends with kids are saying that
Oh.
their younger kids
I
are
think in
sick.
general, that's what happens when you
Yeah.
have kids. My kids
Yeah.
are a little older now. So
Yeah, you're
I-
past like the brutal phase, it seems.
Yeah, but I think in general, like the healthiest, ironically, I've ever been was during COVID.
That's horrible. I don't mean to laugh.
Well, because your kids aren't
Yeah,
bringing stuff
they're not
home
going
every
to
day.
school.
They're like isolated. It's
Yeah.
just you guys.
Yeah, that's so
So we were like super healthy.
true. Love that break for you.
Yeah. My kids were small too. It was 5 years ago,
Such
Physically
a
healthy, socially.
Socially. Well, that's when it's actually helpful to have so many kids too, because even socially, like
You have 3?
I have 3 kids and they're now 16, 14, and 10, or 16, 15. My daughter just turned 15. And I think like, that was kind of like the perfect age. They were
Yeah.
11, 9, and 10, my son, 5. And so they could like play together.
Thank
they were independent. You know what I
goodness.
mean?
That's
Like
nice.
I don't know. Sometimes we talk about actually like what a nice time that was in our lives because it was just like the 5 of us all the time.
But this is also a little bit of a beautiful pattern for you. Like you've told me multiple things now that are devastating where you're like, yes, and it was beautiful in this
Yeah.
way, or yes, and I learned.
Oh, that's so.
yeah, just applaud you for that because it's not always easy.
I think it might be, I didn't know it before, but I think it might be a part of my mindset that makes me the most well suited for entrepreneurship.
I was going to say, you just kind of have to roll with the punches.
You just have to roll with the punches.
Yeah.
And I'm so lucky that I
learning
don't
that.
have an anxious mindset, and I don't actually feel that stressed
Mm.
as a person. Like, I'm not
Teach
saying I
us
don't.
your ways.
Well, it's not that I feel a lot of things. I feel annoyed. I feel insecure. I
Yeah.
feel a lot of things. So it's not to say that I'm perfect in any way, but I tend to really not like the business itself. I can like be a little bit less stressed about. I probably worry more emotionally about things. I worry about people. I worry
Mhm.
about letting people down. I worry, like, even if probably the financial part is more like I worry about letting my investors down.
Mhm.
As opposed to, or like if I've made it, with Sephora, we have a plan, like, are they going to be upset? Like those types of things.
It's a lot of people that you're navigating. Like,
Well, you're navigating people, but you're also responsible for people. Like I have a lot of mouths to feed, right? And I think there's a real responsibility that comes with employing people
yes.
and making sure, like in the beginning, I hired these girls who had never had a job before. Now I have those same people, but I also have people who are the breadwinners of their families.
Mhm.
Like it matters
Mhm.
that they can continue to make money.
It's so cool to be able to do that.
It's cool, but it's also
A lot of pressure.
pressure,
Mhm.
right? And those are the reasons why I feel some of that stress. But like, I think I don't have, it doesn't like, it's not like cumbersome for me. Like I can still, as long as I feel like I'm living in integrity and I'm doing my best and I'm,
Yeah.
then I tend to be
You can
okay.
find peace.
Yeah.
I've already like freaked out even having Brandon help me on the podcast. Like when the schedule shifts or something and I'm like, oh my God, Brandon, I'm so sorry. And like I take on all
Yeah.
of this and they're like, it's fine. Like there's going to be schedule shifts. Like
Yeah.
it happens. And I'm like, I know, I just don't want to make, like I'm thinking about the people
It's
who help
hard.
me. So,
But it's really important to pay attention to your own mindset and figure out what are the things
yeah.
that trigger you. What are the things that you get, because I really do think, like, say you were in a really nervous state, or I was like, I would say at the beginning of the year between like the fire and the tariffs and everything
Oh
else,
my gosh, I can only imagine.
I found myself, and like, we were moving and whatever, I found myself in this like I wasn't breathing.
Yeah, fight
It
or
just
flight
literally was
state.
like, I was just moving
Yeah.
and I wasn't like breathing, and I could feel myself stressing other people out.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Just like, not even because I was like high strung necessarily, but I was just like, go, go, go. Let's move. Like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
And I recognize now that like we are so, unfortunately, negative energy is so much more catching than positive,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's like, as leaders, you really have to be mindful of it.
Yes. That's been a very interesting thing working in this space. And I'm sure you've seen it too with different brands and looking at the cultures at different brands and the energy at the brands and, having friends and creators and that all have all these experiences. And you can really see which brands are intentional about the energy.
Oh, yeah.
And I think so. Because I've seen that. I've seen it. Yes.
That's interesting.
I've worked with so many people who have worked for brands because my come up was merchandising, social media. So now I'm, a little more immersed with like founders and content creators and whatnot.
And
but
don't you think, and I say this because this is my observation, I feel like every brand, every team is like a long shadow of its founder.
Yes. Yes. And I've, been at Sephora for 11 years, I've seen people leave and go to brands or come from brands, and just the brand experience can be so different. I mean, obviously Sephora has its own culture and your team and it's corporate, so it's huge. So it depends on who your leadership is. But I've always just been very adamant about like, if I ever worked for a brand, I would have to be so intentional about it because you're really at the mercy of the founder.
Well, and as you should be, right? I think that whole statement about like the 5 people you surround yourself with are a reflection of yourself.
Oh, I like that.
You know that saying? Or like, look at your friends and I'll show you who you are. I think it's not just your friends, it's who you spend your time with. Like, how could it not be?
Yeah.
And so if your values aren't aligned, if your energy isn't aligned with someone and what they want to do and where they focus, how could you mentally not be?
See, this is this is why almost every founder I've had on this podcast has talked about you as someone who has helped guide them or mentor them, because I'm sitting here and as you're just like speaking casually, I'm just like, yes, I need to think about that for building the podcast and what I want to do in that perspective. And yeah, I really want to just like give you your flowers on that. I can't tell you how much good people have to say about you.
Oh my God, that means so much to me. I think speaking about like purpose and values, like it's quite clear to me at this point so I've worked in the beauty industry for a long time, and I often say it's like the sorority of my adult life. It's my community. I was, recently or earlier this year, I was at Sephora Summit and I was with Nancy Twine, and she was stepping down as the CEO. And she said to me, she's like, this is my last Sephora Summit. And
I just gave me the chills.
Right. And I remember thinking like, oh my God, like I would feel so, it's like this thing, it's like Thanksgiving. I go to Thanksgiving, I don't think that much about spending Thanksgiving with my family until it comes around.
Because it happens every year.
And you should go to it. Sephora Summit. Yeah. Sephora, these things that we do, like they happen every year and you just sort of do it. And it's not that I don't necessarily look forward to it or not look forward to it. And when I go, I'm really happy to, but it's just part of my life.
Yeah.
And yet it's also my community. And then that was the first time that I thought like, oh my God, what would my life be like if it wasn't part of my, like if I was in Nancy's position and I just wasn't going to go anymore. And I think, yes, the business itself, I'm so excited that people love our products, and that's super important to me. And honestly, the thing on a daily basis that makes me the most excited is when I hear people say, or I read a review that like we're able to change someone's skin.
I was going to say, I think you have one of the most like life-changing products, because it really does help people who have serious conditions, whether it's eczema or acne or rash of any sort. I mean, my brother and his family keep so stocked on SOS spray. Like they use it for everything for their kids. Sunburns. I mean, I can't,
It's incredible. But I think there's that, but there's also, so I'm really like, that is something I'm so passionate about. But I would say second to that, my passion really is like, I think that if I can in some way make the beauty community that I am a part of better, that is really the thing that I would like to do. And I think that only happens through this next generation of founders. And like, I don't know, growing up, I didn't see people who look like me, not only women of color, but just women in like leadership roles. And I think women used to have much more of a competitive element to them. And the collaboration side of it is so much better than it used to be. And I worry that with like the changing tides, whether you're talking about politically, everything, the rights of women kind of taking a step backwards. Like I worry that people will change their view set. Yeah. And the only thing that we can do is be supportive and collaborative of each other so that like we can really try to see each other win. So I'm so happy to hear that. But
yes, I think you've been a pillar of that in the beauty community.
Oh, thank you. It's
and not my words, other people's feedback.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's I mean, I hope I can do more of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think oftentimes the brands and the people who are most successful have a lot of purpose behind the work that they do.
For sure.
Because there's like another level of passion that bubbles up underneath you.
I think it again goes back to like what you were saying earlier. Like you have to, if you don't think about how you're spending your own time, you don't respect your time energetically, like it's so easy to get pulled into like a negative thing. You have to like be all in whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people think that that's when you're like a founder. I mean, for everyone, like I don't think that even when you're young, you should do things that don't feel like they're aligned.
Yes. Yeah, or be forced in it. That's also a really interesting thing behind like parenting and trying to figure out how to like help your kids navigate what they want to do or not, and adding intuition to that. And
well, it's so hard because I think the world is so outcome oriented. And honestly, I think
culture.
I have been in my life very outcome oriented. Like I really lived for my resume.
It's where you found your value.
Yeah,
I feel you, girl.
Totally. My whole identity, right, was like, I don't know, can I tell you where I worked? Can I tell you these things? And like, ironically, it's only now when one would argue I've kind of succeeded in some of these things that I recognize that it's not the thing that will make you happy, because it's just this I think it just is this goalpost that keeps moving.
Yes.
Whether you're talking about like fame and likes on a social media post or whatever, or you're talking about money, there's always someone richer than you, prettier than you, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think you have to figure out what is the thing that actually like matters, what is wealth. And for me, it really is. It's like when you said that earlier, and thank you for saying that, like that, to me, it's like the people that you respect. If the people you respect you,
yes,
like you're winning.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know where I was having this conversation either, but when you said, what is your wealth? It's like, I was talking about that recently, maybe on one of these episodes. And I was like, right now, being able to go on my walks every morning is my wealth.
Yeah. I walk every morning.
Yes. Good for you.
I walk
know
every
how
morning with
busy
my
you are.
husband. Well, it's actually my, like a non-negotiable for me. Like my husband and I think it helps
love
that I have a
that.
dog because it, makes you want to do that because that's sad otherwise.
Yes.
But we
yes.
walk our dog every single morning and my husband works with me. And so ironically, it's the only time we talk to each other.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. But I know that like ritual, especially with your partner, is so important.
I think it's the ritual of it. I think there's something that's really important about being outside in nature and just feeling small in the world, like being around like big trees, or I don't know, now I live in Venice. And so we live pretty close to the ocean. And like just I've actually had a new practice. We used to just walk around we live in the Venice canals. And now we'll make sure to like not only walk to the pier, but like walk all the way to the end of the pier because there's something about standing in like basically the middle of the ocean.
Yes, I've done that recently.
That feels really like, oh, my problem.
It was magical.
Yeah, like you just have this moment where you're like, oh, these things that I let annoy me on a daily basis are not that big of a deal.
It felt like things kind of got quiet instantly.
Yeah.
Like you're just a part of nature, which we are.
Well, and then like not to be, when you experience death, you're also like, wow, like you're just gone. Like time is really not anybody's privilege or right. You know what I mean? Like you don't know. So like just being, I think, a little more careful about how you spend your time and your energy and what you pay attention to. Yeah.
And that shows in your awareness and how you find the lessons and you accept them and you move forward with them. I think that's like how you got to play this life game, whatever this is.
I think it's like you can live your life in a lot of different ways, but I think if you want to be content.
Yes. I'm going to take us back a little bit. Where did you grow up?
My parents immigrated from Taiwan. I would say I was born in Minnesota. My dad went to University of Illinois. And so then I was in Illinois for a little while, but I would say mostly I grew up in LA. So I grew up on the east side of LA.
Okay. That's what I thought. I thought you were an LA girl. I just wasn't sure like
from the time I was
much.
like, I don't know, 5, I've lived in LA. So it's like I really don't think of myself in any way as
Yeah, it's
Midwestern. And then I moved a lot when I was little until I was 10. And from the time I was 10, I lived in Claremont, which is where the Claremont colleges are.
Okay, yeah. What was your experience like? I have an immigrant father. Having 2 immigrant parents, being new to America, especially, and I know you've spoken. You are so generous with how you speak for AAPI month and like the work that you've done for that community is like you're always showing up. And so I know you've had this conversation before, but just as it relates to you and your inner child, I think. Like, how was that experience for you? And is that something that you revisit?
I think I revisit it all the time.
Yeah.
I think that the thing I've always been fascinated about working in beauty is that so much of beauty is your confidence, right? Like we
from
all,
the inside.
Yeah. And I think so much of, unfortunately, I think the way that, especially when we're young, beauty or confidence get determined is the way other people see you or your perception of how other people see you. And I think growing up in America, but specifically, I would say even California, in a small town that did not have not just Asian, but really any minorities, and it was a predominantly white neighborhood. And I didn't see myself in anything, right? So I remember at a young age feeling like, oh, I'm just like the girl that like the boys want to be friends with. Like, why would they ever, like, I didn't think of myself as something, like someone that like men would be attracted to necessarily. I didn't think of myself as pretty. all of my friends were like blonde hair, blue eyed, like cute little white girls. And I just didn't see an image in any of the, I mean, I grew up looking at magazines.
You felt
and
othered. I mean,
I
if
felt
you're the only
super
one.
othered. And I think the only versions, I mean, I think about it now and I'm like, what movies did I see with like
Right.
Asians? It's like Long Duk Dong was in like 16 Candles, or
Yeah.
you saw.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So many people, because that's like the only example.
Yeah, like you just really didn't see it. And I think the world is so different today and I'm so grateful for it.
Probably because a lot of people like you, whose inner child was like, hell no. And, started to create some change.
Why it's so important to me today to have really diverse people in our videography, our pictures and everything else. And for me, diversity isn't just like, it's not just your ethnicity, but it is also, we try to do age, we try to do size. Size is actually really hard to capture when you're doing makeup in a.
Yeah, I could see that.
So we try to do body positive, but it doesn't always like translate. Sexuality, all these things. We really do try, but in a hopefully not artificial way.
I think it comes through. And it does not feel artificial to me.
The thing that we did really recently, which I'm really proud of, is we put a casting call in the New York Times.
Cool.
So what happened is every time we cast through agencies, which I think is what most people do.
Uh-huh.
And every single time I'd be like, can we get something, acne, scars, like something wrong, a little texture. And we would get like people to send us self-tapes or whatever. And even if they had something, they would always show up and they would be fine. And I was like, guys, can we just find, like, I don't want to just take pictures of people with perfect skin. And so finally we were like, let's just do it ourselves. So we put this ad out in the New York Times and we said like, come as you are, show up with we want to see your flares. We want to see your acne, your texture, everything, your eczema. And we put it out for, I can't remember, it was 2 or 3 weeks because we wanted to close it at some point. So it felt fair. And we got over 4,000.
Hell yeah.
And like the pictures of these people.
That's so cool.
They're beautiful.
Mm.
And that's the thing is like, you can be so beautiful and still like your skin, you know what I mean? And I think that combination of feeling confident enough to like show yourself that way is really powerful. So we're really excited to do something more with it. But that to go back to your question, I think so much of I think when I was younger, it was being Asian. And then I think as I got older, having eczema was really hard for me. It showed up on my face. It showed up on my hands. It showed up on my body. And I think being somebody who was selling this idea of aspiration, it made me really feel like an imposter.
Mm-hmm.
And so much of it is I really am trying to show people who look like me and look like the other facets of me in the imagery that we show. And in the way we make products too.
I deeply resonate. Like that's how I stepped in front of the camera for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Because when I was on marketing casting for our videos, we ran into the same issue. We wanted to do a how to cover acne video. We could not cast a model who would come onto camera with acne. And if they did, it was not real acne. Yeah. And our audience knew that. They wanted to see themselves represented and they want to see the product being challenged. Not put on porcelain, perfect, poreless skin. Like, totally. Let's see it across the board. Let's see it with real life issues. And I used to have a lot more acne growing up. I still get things here and there, but I had a lot of hormonal acne, especially around the jawline. And so, and I was open about it. And at the time, my manager was like, "Oh, would you be the model? Like, would you mind if we did it?" And that was the first time I ever stepped on camera for Sephora.
Oh, wow.
Was barefaced with my acne.
Wow.
So I just I went from 0 to 100, but it was such what you have done for every single person that you photographed.
Yeah.
Because that experience for me was so healing. Because it was just unapologetically putting myself out there with a lot of fear.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of vulnerability. But the response was so positive because people were cheering us on, yes, finally someone with real acne. We love this video. She's beautiful.
Crazy thing is I think as people, not just as women, but as people, so often, especially when you're younger, you want to blend in. You just want to be like everybody else, whatever that cultural norm is. But pretty much always, I think the older I've gotten, it's the thing that makes you different is almost always the thing that you spike at
Yes.
or that makes you you.
Yes.
And if you can lean into it in some way, that is literally where you find your power. And I find it so interesting that that's the case because when you're young, you're so like, I just want to be like everyone else. I just want to be the same. And I think that is the real blessing of getting older is that you start knowing it.
Oh my God, getting older is so good.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it comes with like physical things and people are like, oh, my knees and not, I get it. But the older, every year I get older, the better I know myself and the more at
Yes.
peace I feel.
Well, and I think most people I know who are older would also say the best part of getting older is that you just stop caring.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just don't care as much about what other people think.
Yes. Yeah. I know I feel like that's also a really common conversation in the creator landscape where people will give advice and they're like, be absolutely yourself because they'll experience it. It's like as soon as I started to just like be myself and not try to be this way or re-record it like 5 times, you know?
Yeah.
And you just get comfortable in your own skin on camera. That's when you end up doing well because people can feel that and connect to that. But that's incredible that many people and everyone that came onto your set, I hope, had that experience. And I'm sure
we
they did
haven't
on some
shot
level.
yet with all of them. We've just gotten
this
all
is
the
recent.
it's really recent. We just got all the photos in and started combing through them. We did actually just have Sephora Market Week and you know what a big deal that is. And so we had our merchants and our planners and everybody came to the marketing
I
team.
used to have to do the entire packet that Sephora gives you. When I first started at Sephora, I had to print all of those and build all the reports. It was like, it almost killed me.
Yeah.
Whenever someone says Market Week, I'm just like,
I feel you. Market Week was always like Super Bowl. Like it was a big deal at every brand that I've been at. Like every Market Week was a big deal. Anyway, we're launching a complexion product next year, which we're really excited about. And that's why we did this casting call. And to show the people during Market Week how exciting this product is, we brought in a girl from the casting call.
Okay.
And this woman, Shia, she was beautiful. And it's interesting when I saw her come in, and I hadn't really spent a lot of time with her, but her energy was kind of small and a little bit like reserved.
Yeah.
I would say. And she suffers from not only acne, but a lot of hyperpigmentation. So her whole face has lots of scars. And she came in barefaced. We put her on a director's chair in front of everybody, barefaced. And then we had a makeup artist come and do half of her face. And we did like one swipe first. And she had a mirror. She was holding it and she could see herself. And she finished half her face and you could see her bloom.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It's like so interesting how the power of makeup.
Mm-hmm.
She physically like bloomed in front of everybody. And I'm sure it doesn't help that everybody was like, oh my gosh, you're so gorgeous. You have such beautiful skin. And I just resonate so deeply with that feeling of like not being somebody with gorgeous skin and having someone tell you, like, it's just something that you're not used to hearing. And then you're like, wait, I have beautiful skin. Like that's something like, I resonate so deeply with it. So it just was so cool to see.
To receive that is incredible. And it also goes to show, because I don't think she would receive that unless she felt it.
Yeah.
And in looking through the mirror, I can't wait to see this product.
Yeah.
And looking in the mirror, she obviously felt that herself. Like I'm sure it helped having everyone around her too. But I know from how I feel when someone tells me, it's like you don't really receive it unless you feel it.
No. And I think it's funny because sometimes there's different, as you know, lots of people in beauty who have different passions, right? Like some people on my team love makeup. They just love playing with it. They love using it. They love the artistry of it. I actually don't love makeup that much. It's not like I can't wait. I wear makeup every day. I love makeup, but it's not like I wear different looks every day.
Yeah,
I'm not super creative that way. I love the way it makes people feel.
Yeah.
I love that moment of how it changes the way a person walks through the world. Yeah.
It's art and creation and self-expression when it's being used properly.
Yes. And like what it does for someone.
Yeah.
That's
the part I love.
Why I'm a makeup artist for over 12 years now.
I
Being
know.
able to start barefaced with someone and create something that is still them, that makes them feel good about themselves. Not just about what you put on them, but what that product and those products do to them and like their brain chemistry.
It's 100% that. Like it's in the beauty industry. I feel like so many times in my career, people have said to me, guys, we are not curing cancer.
Yeah.
Let's not take this so seriously. What we do is not that important.
Yes.
And I always think the same thing.
Yes.
I think, yes, we are not curing cancer, but one, we don't need to give people cancer. So like, let's try to
100%.
avoid bad ingredients. Not that I'm fear mongering, but I just in general, I'm like, why wouldn't we? But two, I also feel like it's like, it really underplays how important what we do is.
Yeah.
I think that what we do is super important.
Absolutely.
Because it literally is changing the way someone's brain chemistry, the way that they feel about themselves. And it has been literally proven that if you can change the way someone feels about themselves, they will achieve more. They will strive for more. I mean, I can't remember the statistics, but I know like so I'm on the board of the National Eczema Association now. 1 in 10 people in America have eczema.
Wow. I didn't
It's a
realize
lot.
it was that much.
25% of children nowadays have eczema.
Does dermatitis fall under that?
Yeah, dermatitis.
I've been
falls.
struggling with dermatitis for the first time.
Yeah. So there's all
Interesting.
perioral dermatitis.
Yeah.
Is probably the most common. But like there's also, I can't remember what the statistic is, but a lot of people, not only do they suffer from that, but then also don't go on dates, don't go get the job, don't go do the thing. And even a lot of them become suicidal because of the fact that they are not comfortable in their own skin.
Yep.
They get teased. Sometimes people, listen, I've never had this kind of eczema, but sometimes when people, if you have eczema, whatever, you can get an overproduction of staph that becomes like a sepsis that then you get hospitalized.
Oh my gosh.
And so then you're like kind of chronically dealing with
it's like
real
a chronic
issues.
illness of sorts.
So I only mention that to say, like, I think that what we as an industry can do to help people feel more comfortable in their own skin is incredibly important.
I couldn't agree more. I don't want to ever dismiss that. I've heard that as well. I remember one of my first bosses said, "We're selling lipsticks, we're not saving lives."
Yeah.
And she said it in a good context because I was stressed out. And she was like, "You're doing fine. Don't worry."
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of thing. But you can be looked at in 2 different ways.
Yeah.
And I couldn't agree with you more.
Even more important, even if somebody could do your makeup, I think like the makeup artist, the ability of somebody to like
The energy exchange.
Yeah. I actually think being any type of glam is a form of therapy.
Yes.
Because you're just like, you're generally with someone in a really vulnerable moment.
Yep.
It's like right before they're about to do
Go on to
something
stage.
that they feel like uncomfortable doing.
Yeah.
And that is really important to them. And you're this close to them.
Yes.
And it's, I don't know. I think it's a really vulnerable thing.
Some of the most successful makeup artists have the best energy, in my opinion.
I mean, Daniel Martin.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. Brandon is a great example. Every time Brandon's doing...
I pride myself on knowing and picking up when someone needs to either just be very quiet and calm, or if they need me to reassure them.
the best glam people I know are the ones who know how to be in a room.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm not even talking about for me. I don't actually get glam that often, but like for other like celebrities, and that
Read
like
the
they
room.
have to know how,
Yeah.
where, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is again intuition.
Oh, absolutely. I've had a lot of different hairstylists at Sephora Studios because usually I'm going on camera to do my makeup more so than my hair. And so usually I'm sitting in the hair chair, and we've had a lot of different people come through, and it really impacts.
I mean, do you know Mara Rozak?
No, I don't think
She's
so.
the founder of Rose.
Oh, no, I have not met her.
Oh my God, she's amazing. I think she doesn't live that much farther from you. She's great. You should have her on. She's lovely. And I haven't invested in basically anything. Like I haven't sold my company. You know what I mean? Like whatever.
You're in it.
I'm in it.
Yeah.
She asked me to invest, and I invested, and
Oh my
not
gosh,
a lot of money.
amazing.
Not a lot of money necessarily, but really like I just wanted her to feel like I
Believed in
her.
Absolutely.
And part of the reason I invested in her is I was like, there's so many people in the glam world who I think have a hard time keeping clients because, and sometimes it's not their fault. Sometimes celebrities for sure can be very fickle. And if you look at Mara, she has kept her clients for a very long time. And I think there's something about that knowingness of knowing how to be there for someone, but also
Mhm.
like step back, that I think is important in business too.
Absolutely.
And I just was like, I feel like this is going to be a good. So far, I feel like I was right.
I think it's like as artists, we're creatives, and creatives tend to be a lot more empathetic and like
Yeah.
sensitive to energy and like all of that. And for so long, I felt like my empathy and sensitivity was a bad thing because it was overwhelming. I would, go into the conference room at Sephora and sit down with all these cross-functionals or executives or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was feeling like, oh, they're having a bad day. Like, oh, they're stressed out. Oh, they're thinking about lunch. Like I felt like I could really sense, and it was kind of overwhelming. And as soon as I started to learn how to kind of protect my energy a bit, it became such a superpower.
Yeah.
And so I think it translates to makeup. I think it translates to a boardroom. I think it translates, like if you have the capability to just, I think we communicate through energy much more than we're aware of.
Well, I mean, I think they say that communication is 80% nonverbal.
Yeah, I
right?
believe
Like it's
that.
not even, people don't even hear most of what you say.
Absolutely.
But they pick up on like
all the subtleties.
The energy and the subtleties.
Yes. Yeah, I feel that. This went by so fast. One day we'll have to have you on for a part 2.
Is this what you normally talk about? Just like anything?
This is what generally I feel like we went into like the clairvoyant space a little bit, but I really liked how that connected. No, not at all. I really do. Like I told you, I don't prep much for these episodes. I don't know if one day someone's gonna be like, Melinda, you need to like be more professional. I don't know. But I just enter the conversation and kind of like let it guide us. I usually try and focus in on more like mental health and wellness, childhood, like how that shaped you. Like I feel like we touched on a lot of those things. And the people who are willing to like go a little bit more into the unknown of like the woo, if you will, we always tend to go there here.
Done.
So I appreciate it. I really do. And thank you so much for coming out to do this. Everyone can find you at Tower28, of course.
Tower
and then
Beauty.
Your handle's Amy Liu
underscore T28. So AMYLIU underscore T28.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I look up to you so much.
Oh my God.
I really do. I'm very grateful for founders like you in the space and for the opportunity to have, I just had Danessa Myricks on, and I really put you in her category of just like being incredibly inspiring and a founder's founder and all of those amazing things. So thank you for the work that you do and the change that you're creating.
Oh, I love it.
Appreciate
thank
it.
you so much.
Yeah, of course. And then we will wrap this up. And then every episode starts with us asking the same question, which is our Beauty Manifest Confessional. And so we're just going to ask you what makes you feel the most vulnerable. And that can change every day. So your answer can be, I think Rosie Johnston by Rosie Jane, she said wearing a bathing suit at the beach.
Oof.
I was like, that is so real. But, everyone has a different answer. Danessa said sharing like her struggles or her quote unquote failures with people who look up to her can be hard sometimes. So yeah, if you want to noodle on it, we'll get set up over there.
I think the nice part about your brand and Tower28 specifically is that you didn't just make a product to sell. You really had that care in the beginning, which was like, I need something that's going to work and that's going to be clean. And you've really just morphed it from being just a brand into a community.
It's
and I
purpose
think
driven.
That's why so many people in the industry look at you like on such a pillar of the community because you care, and people feel that.
You
not
do
just
have the
from
reputation.
the internet, but
I don't know if you get told this a lot.
I don't. This is so nice.
Yeah.
You do. You have the reputation.
I talked to you at Sephora, and there were so many people there talking to a million people. And I came over and we had a nice little moment, and I was just about to interview Danessa Myricks, and just interacting with you again just made me feel like, I'm like, oh, I know Amy Liu. And she was so sweet to me, and she's like, have a great time at this. And
good energy.
Yeah, you've always brought the good energy. And I love when brands do more to create community, because that's what we lack, is just the ability to ask each other for help and to know who we can look to. And you're that person for a lot of people.
Safe space.
Yeah.
And killer products. I'm wearing your Shadow Stick in Studio.
You are?
The
You're inspiring me to wear it. I've been looking at it this whole time.
I love it. Well, it looks different on everyone. I was like, I love the cooling effect.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
But you also did a good job of layering it. Nice.
I had fun with it.
You got that good pigment going.
Thank you. And we're back. Amy Liu, the woman, the myth, the legend, truly. Very grateful for the opportunity to get to know her a little bit better. She's just such an incredible speaker. Every time I've seen her speak on a panel or any of like her social media cut downs that I see, or she's on a different podcast, I'm just like, she gives inspiring, like always. She has that kind of energy, kind of like Danessa. Like I feel like Danessa Myricks and Amy Liu, like they give like, you can do anything you put your mind to energy, which I think is so beautiful and hopefully very infectious for all of you. It is for me. And I'm just excited to have the opportunity to get beyond the formulas and the ingredients and the products and get to the base of who the beautiful people are behind all of that. It's so interesting. The beauty industry really has become like every brand founder is almost a celebrity. They're the face of the brand. It wasn't always like that. Like that transitioned with like the influencer social media boom. Prior to that, like you might know who the founder is, but they weren't like front facing all the time. Now it almost feels like it's mandatory for founders, which I'm sure is, tough for some. And I'm glad that we got into that too. But I think Amy is a great example of how to do that. And so hope you enjoyed this conversation. As always, at the end of the podcast, the things that I say are comment. Let me know what you think. If there's someone that you would like me to have on, please tag them, DM me. I'm always looking for new people. If you have any topics that we want to dig into, please don't forget about the Beauty Anonymous either. The Beauty Anonymous is a series within the Beauty Manifest with our resident therapist, Dr. Christine Coleman, where we discuss topics or answer questions that you all directly send to us. And you can do that via DM on the Beauty Manifest Instagram or via comment or via our email, whatever's easiest for you. We will keep it anonymous, but we love to hear what you're interested in exploring so that we can really make you a part of the conversation. So don't forget that aspect of the podcast as well. And subscribe so you always know when there's a new episode. Reviews are so lovely. I looked the other day and I was like, oh, we have some great reviews. So thank you for that if you've done it already. And if you haven't and you have some time, I would so appreciate it. And I will see you all next time.